Hello friends, James Stevenson here with more insights from a Bank of America Global Research note that was shared with me earlier this week. Let's check in with my co-host Loki, who still hasn't eaten his breakfast yet, but if he does, I will move his camera so that you can keep an eye on him in the Loki cam down here while I look over here at this note. So this is Exhibit 7. It's on page 6 of the research note from B of A Global Research, and it's titled Global Sales and Market Share by OEM, Original Equipment Manufacturer, which by which they mean automaker. So, sales and market share of key OEMs quarterly and annually. So, first they give it to you by quarter over the trailing, what is this, 9 quarters? And they give you the full year 2021, full year 2022, and the year-to-date July 2023, which is the latest info they have. So, which automakers are growing by the most? They tell you. You don't even have to look at the numbers. It's right here in the subtitle. BYD and Tesla. Year-to-date growth continues to outpace competition, up 73.7% and 55.1%. With strong market share gains, gaining 0.8 percentage points and 0.6 percentage points, which don't sound like very much. But when you're talking global market share, nearly a point in a year is a lot of market share to gain. So I made a chart about this in a video earlier in the week, so go check that out if what you want is a graphic to go with the market share percentages. I put that up already. What this is showing you is the total sales. So how many units in terms of unit sales, number of vehicles sold, were there in each of these quarters for each of these companies that make new automobiles. What I'll draw your attention to is the Tesla line here. So beginning in 2Q 2021, so 2 years ago this time, Tesla was selling about 175,000 vehicles per quarter. So that happened in the second quarter of 2021, rising to 196,000, which was the last time Tesla sold less than 200,000 vehicles in a quarter. In the fourth quarter, it was 283,000. That rose a little in the second quarter of 2022. The first quarter of 2022, which is normally a seasonally weak quarter. The first quarter may not have any growth at all from the fourth quarter because it's cold in the first quarter of the year, January, February, March, a lot of snow on the ground. People don't feel like going to buy a new car in that weather environment compared to the other quarters, which is what we mean by seasonality. Then decline in the second quarter of 2022 that was driven by Shanghai lockdowns over a COVID outbreak, shut down the factory completely in Shanghai for 4 weeks, Tesla's most productive factory, and ran at limited operation for another 4 weeks, only one shift a day, 6 days a week. Then sprang above 300,000 in the third quarter of 22, almost 350,000 to end last year, the fourth quarter of 2022, and then over 400,000 in each of the quarters so far this year, setting a record high again in the second quarter of 2023. So here's what those look like for the years. 825,000 in the full year 2021, 1.2 million, which doesn't seem like the right number to me for full year 2022. I thought we just saw that it was 1.3 million vehicles sold in 2022. Whatever. And then in year-to-date leave me a comment if you can figure out why that number isn't higher than that for 2022. Then in year-to-date 2023, already so far this year to date July, Tesla is almost at 1 million vehicles. So we'll end this year closer to 2 million than 1 million vehicles sold. Okay, so what do we see in the section below this? It's the year-over-year growth percentages. So how much did the sales change by versus the prior year same quarter? Well, you see lots of big numbers in the second quarter of 2021 because they're comparing against the global COVID outbreak quarter, which was the second quarter of 2020. So everybody's sales were up, except Geely. They were down. They were down 6.4%, while everyone else was up. Look at Suzuki, up 180%. Tesla was second best, up 153%. But then the following quarter, look at all these negative signs here. Lots of minus signs the following quarter and the quarter after that, but not for Tesla. Tesla was up 67%, 77%, 75%, 39%, 55%, 22%, 35%, 71%. No negatives anywhere on the row for Tesla. BYD similarly has even larger increases last year. So really strong growth from Tesla and from BYD, as it says up here in the headline. But for everybody else, a lot of minuses, even for the full year numbers, not just for the quarters. A few of these automakers were down in 2021 versus 2020. That's gotta hurt. COVID impaired 2020 should have been an easy year to beat. That should have been an easy comp to slaughter, as Tesla did, beating 2020 by 87%. Even BYD didn't beat 2020 by that much. They only beat by 73%. Then in 2022, BYD had the strongest beat, up 149%. That's pretty huge. Tesla looks to be a distant second place here, up 45%. And again, a lot of companies were down. Stellantis, Renault, down double digits, along with Nissan and Honda, down double digits in 2022 versus 2021. So really interesting to see the comparison here. And then in 2023, everybody seems to be up with the lone exception of Honda. Honda's down 3.2% this year versus where they were last year. Get it in gear, Honda. They've got something not working. Everybody else is up, and you can see the numbers that were called out in the subheading for BYD and for Tesla this year, building on strength from the prior 2 years. So there you go. Global sales were up 2.7% in 2021 versus 2020, down 2.8% in 2022 versus 2021, and so far this year up almost 10%. There you go. That is my video. That's how badly Tesla and BYD are beating all the rest of their global competition. Right, Loki? Yes? He's trying to rest. So with that, I will outro and say, if you've enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave me a like button on whatever platform you're viewing this. You can subscribe to me for free on YouTube, if that's where you're watching this video, by clicking a button over here. Or for $4.20 a month on Patreon, for 69 cents per week on X, formerly known as Twitter. That's $3 a month, a little bit better deal for you on X. Or by joining my YouTube channel, as my executive producers, Kathy Kitchler and Rebellionaire.com did. And I'll see you in the next one.